Hello and welcome. You are watching Agates Explained by Josh today. I am Josh, I own the company Agatebay, and we are in my physical store location in Dresden, Germany right now. This is probably one of the last few times that you're going to see a video from me in this location, just for the reason that I'm expanding and moving to a bigger location where I will probably focus more on my online presence and selling rather than having a physical store. But what I have today here is absolute incredibility. We are talking about one of the most loved and talked about agate in the entire world. Of course, it is Laguna Agate. Laguna Agate here, Laguna Agate there. At most shows where I'm going to in the United States, that's what almost everybody is asking for. Both collectors as well as dealers. The market is limited, the prices are rising, and I just want to give you a better picture of what is happening on the market, some of the changes that have been happening as well, and what is the most important, also some physical examples so you can compare and see the quality of different specimens and how the evaluation of these could be. So I would say let's get right into it and start with the lowest quality specimens first. I'm sure when you're watching this video, some of these pieces will be sold. Others are part of my personal collection. So if there are specific pieces that you may be interested in, you're always welcome to shoot me an email. There is no specific desire for me to reduce my collection at the moment, but pretty much everything I have is up for sale. So you're always welcome to reach out to me. And that's how we are going to get started with the first agate. Pretty full hasp backside. It is not yet polished. It doesn't have much color, just a very pale white banding with maybe a hint of pink, but it has a quartz center as well as a fracture running through. So this was not even worth the cost of polishing to me personally. Next one up is a price in a similar category. However, it's already polished. It's got a nice little sparkly druzy. So we're looking at 20 bucks right here. But of course, that's not exactly what you're looking for when we're talking about Laguna agates. This is a specimen that I have been cutting in one of my previous Laguna agate cutting videos in my workshop. So you may recognize it. Currently it is up for sale for 60 euros for the pair on my website. So we're looking about at $33 per half with the current exchange rate. Next one are a couple pieces that I have in my store right now. I don't think these will hold up for long because I am currently doing a sale in my store where there's a 30% off everything I'm offering here physically. So 40 euros for this cute little parallax specimen with pink banding. The reason why it's so affordable is also this little break here on the side of it, but a very easy sale for this kind of quality and caliber. Next one is a 60 euro specimen. Also, nothing wrong with this piece, relatively small, probably about 2 inches, but it doesn't have any flaws. Unfortunately, also not a lot of color. That's the reason why it's only at 60 bucks. Next one is already a little bit better. The reason is just a little more contrast in the banding, beautiful pinks in combination with the kind of deep red banding. I wish, of course, it had a little more banded area down here in that section, but then it would also not be 90 bucks, but maybe 150. Now we're looking at another specimen that I cut in one of my cutting sessions for Laguna agates. I currently have this piece up for 80 euros on my website. It has some color, but the color is not super intense. The contrast is not super sharp in this piece. That's why we're looking at only 80 bucks for this specimen. Now we're getting into a little bit larger quality specimens, and also the larger the piece is, the more money is caught up in the rough, usually the higher also the value is. But of course, it also depends on the quality inside of the specimen. For example, you can see there's a pretty small one in the next level of pieces, but it still has the same value like the other one right next to it. But this row coming up first, and here we have an absolutely spectacular piece with the yellow, and this would be a several $100 specimen if it was just for the banding. Unfortunately, it has this kind of carbonated black fracture running through, which is also known as a black widow within some collector circles. Of course, it takes away a little bit of the aesthetics, but this is a stunning piece, and very affordable for what it is. And same is the other half of it. Both of these I currently have up on my website for 160 euros each. In dollars, that is probably about 175 right now. The other one, same price, same beautiful specimen. Without the fracture, we are probably looking at about $300 to $400 in value, but with the fracture, this easily takes about half of that. So we're also looking at just 160 euros for this beautiful specimen with pink. It's a floater, it's a drusen specimen, and it could be so nice if it didn't have that fracture. Next one up is a little bit lower in quality in terms of the banding and contrast and overall quality, I would say. But it is valuable, more valuable than the previous ones, just for the reason that it does not have any fracturing. So 200 euros is the current value for this piece up on my website. Next one up is the largest of the batch yet. We are looking at a relatively flawless piece. It does have a quad center and a couple of slightly healed fractures on the side of it, but it is a beautiful piece. And for this size, we're looking at probably around 4.5 inches at only 300 euros. So this is actually a really affordable specimen, also available on my website right now. It may be sold by when you watch the video, but don't miss the chance and check out what I have available on my website. You can also just use the search bar and search for Laguna to see all of the specimens I have available at this very moment. This is another one that I cut in one of my cutting videos in the workshop a couple months back. I have this one available right now for 350 euros. Now we are getting into the kind of next level of agates, and this is also the area from, I would say, $500 and up, where the specimens have such a unique factor to it that we're looking into a higher segment, but also pieces that have like a little more recognition to them, just because they get so unique that there is not, even a second one that could compare to what we are having right here. First one up, another one from my cutting session. What a load of eyes in this piece. I priced this about a year ago, right when I've been cutting it. The eyes are absolutely gorgeous. It is available for 400 euros, but prices have been rising within the last year. So if I cut it right now and had to reprice it, I would probably price it at a higher price than I did a year ago. So if it's still available, make sure to grab this one. It is an absolute stunner. The eyes are so unique. Next one up, a specimen I also cut during one of my cutting sessions. 550 euros for absolute perfection. We are looking at tight parallax banding, beautiful eyes, super strong contrast. So that's the kind of unique specimens that will get you to 500 euros and up in value. Next one up, about 4 to 5 times the size, and this has been one of the most exciting rough stones I have ever owned. I was absolutely hyped when I cut it, and you can watch me cut this very specimen in one of my earlier Laguna Agate cutting videos. Just the potential this piece has in this section right there is just absolutely outstanding. When I cut it, however, I was a little bit frustrated just for the reason that it has a fracture running through. If it did not have the fracture, we're looking at a 4-digit specimen, but the fracture easily cut the value in half. So we are also looking at 550 euros for this specimen currently available in my web shop. Next one up, also at 550 euros, is this beautiful piece. Gorgeous colors, chromatography, great contrast overall. A very, very beautiful specimen. The other half is 200 euros more valuable. It does not have this kind of fracturing line. It just fades out here to the side, but just absolutely amazing piece. Great depth. It's got some parallax here. The contrast with that singular white band running through the center, just absolutely amazing. So we are at 750 euros value right now. We are moving up. Another one right here in a 700 euro value. Just outstanding quality parallax throughout the entire piece. Great size. We're looking at about 4 inches. Beautiful eyes throughout the entire specimen. Just gorgeous. It doesn't have any flaws. The reason why it is still so affordable is the colors don't punch quite as hard as in other specimens. Although this is a flawless piece, that's the reason why it is still a little more on the affordable side. And what we are getting into now is just absolute incredibility. All of these pieces are not for sale at the moment. These are from what I call my collection, but like I said, I have a very moving collection. So I enjoy pieces for a few years. Then if there's somebody else who enjoys them very much, then I'm totally okay to pass them on. And that's also the case with this collection. And now we are getting into a pretty small specimen, but with one of the most incredible parallaxes you can imagine. As I'm moving it around, you can see the banding is just so incredibly tight that it's hard to capture. But beautiful piece, great symmetry. I love the tiny little druzy in the center. The pink is a very unique color, but of course the parallax is what is making up most of the value in this piece, and I'm looking at about 800 euros for this specimen. Just over 2 inches, maybe 2¼ or 2½ inches in size, and that's the same size for this kind of piece. Just absolutely outstanding. The pink, the red, the white, in contrast with the druzy, just absolute incredibility. We're also looking for about like $700–800 just to give you an idea of where these could be. Next one up, we are already in the 4-digit area. This was a recut I did. It opened up just gorgeous. I had this in my collection for about 5 years, I would say. The contrast is absolutely amazing. So is the depth. The just overall perfection is incredible in this specimen. Such a nice round shape as well, and we're looking at probably about like $1,000 to $1,500 in value for this piece, and that quickly gets up already like in the 2,000 euro range. I just don't want to bother you more with the low quality specimens. So we're quickly moving up here, and these are the specimens that are in a range of about $2,000 to $3,000 in value. And this is just for flawlessness, perfection, striking colors, finesse of the banding, how quickly the bands and the contrast is changing. So we're looking at beautiful parallax pieces, great flow channels, and just overall absolute perfection. So we are probably about like 2,500 range for this piece right now. But all of the prices with Laguna Agates have been changing over the last few years. And if you asked me maybe 5 years back, I would have probably told you very different prices for these. It's just the market has very quickly been adjusting, especially on the Mexican Laguna Agates. That's for the reason that the cost of mining has been going up by a lot, but also the desire and request for having good Laguna Agates for many collectors has just been increasing and increasing, and that's how the market is regulating itself. And of course, people who really appreciate it, they will get them either way. But of course, there's also some frustration by collectors who have been in the market for 5, 10, 20, 30 years, who, don't appreciate, the change of prices as much. Here we have an absolute perfect specimen. Just all the colors of the rainbow. It is absolutely incredible. It's got blue, it's got yellow, it's got red, it's got white, it's got some parallax. It is absolutely stunning. The reason why we are not talking about a $5,000 specimen plus here is just that the colors are a little more muted. I mean, if you compare it to the other piece, this one has just a little more punch. However, I would see these kind of in the same price range, just because there's all colors of the rainbow. And right now with the light, it looks like this one is more striking, but close up you will see so many incredible details in the banding of this piece as well that we're looking for both of these in the about $2,500 range. Next one up is a piece that had a lot of controversy when I've been talking to friends. I am madly in love with this specimen. It's been one of the most expensive pieces I've been treating myself to when my business was still in its like beginner's shoes, I would call it. Back in the day, probably about 8 years ago, when I just started out being a little more successful, I spent, I think, 3,200 euros for this piece. I've shown it before in my collection video, so if you want to see my entire agate collection, make sure to check out that video as well. But I had friends telling me I was absolutely crazy for buying this piece, but I also absolutely just didn't care about their opinion because I loved this agate so much. The natural chromatography from the yellow to the red, the blue surrounding it with the white. For me, this agate is absolutely worth it, every penny. Next one up, and you can probably see a little bit of the Same colors here just because it matches my personal taste. And of course, pricing also takes a little bit into account the subjectiveness of the owner of the pieces. And since I'm very much in love with a combination of yellow, blue and red and white, that's maybe why I price these specimens so high. But this is one of the old stock but extremely nice specimens. Probably hard to see in the video, but it has a pretty strong parallax in this red banding. And most of the time when you find parallax, it is in more brighter colored specimens, more in like white banded pieces or pink banded. But finding good parallax in the more deeply saturated specimens like red in this case is just a lot more difficult. So we're also looking at about like a 25 to 3000 range for each half of this pair. Next one up is a specimen which I sold the other half of, I would say probably about 2 years ago. I think I sold it for maybe 1200, maybe 1500 euros. And yeah, that's just been a very short period of time. But now looking at this piece of the size and quality, I'd probably also look at about 2500 for this half of the specimen, just because prices have been changing so much and the market is limited in terms of how much good quality there is out there. People are willing to pay those prices for high quality pieces. And I mean, I am not the gold setter or whatsoever who's dealing with Mexican agates, as you may know. I'm not the miner for these specific items, so I'm just telling you about the current market situation. I'm not setting these prices, I'm just telling you about what I think the value of these could be nowadays for these specimens. Absolute flawless piece. The pink is absolutely terrific in this specimen. Yeah, the parallax, the banding is so fine, and it's just perfect. Of course, we all wish this would be fully banded and didn't have any of the matrix, but I mean, what can we all wish for? And now we are working our way up into the near impossible kind of price category, and what we are looking at is absolute insanity. This is a piece I've had in my collection for a couple years for sure, and it is just mad. I mean, look at the intensity of the pink banding, the yellow, the red. I mean, it is just so loaded with many different colors, still not lacking any contrast in the banding. So this is an absolute stunner that I would probably price around 5,000 euros in today's market evaluation. And a little higher is probably where I would be putting this piece right here. We are looking at just absolute insanity. We have this eye down here, we have the flow channel, we have this incredible banding with the white, the yellow, the red, the pink. We have some green, we have some blue. It is just absolutely stunning. I did sell the other half of this specimen on my website for a couple thousand. This one remained in my collection, and we are probably looking at about, I would call it 65 to 7,500 at current market situation for this piece. But also these pieces are not for sale right now. This is just like kind of evaluation I'm giving you for those pieces right now. And of course, contrast matters a lot for these kind of pieces, as well as colors, but also uniqueness. And this is one of the most exceptional floater agates I have ever seen in a Laguna agate of this size. This is a very old stock piece. This has been found decades ago, so there's some history to this piece. I did have the other half of this specimen for sale on my website. I think it was for 5,500, but that was a little bit ago. And also this is the full back-sided piece. The other one was a little thinner and had like the broken off husk, which also takes off a little bit of the value. I think there's a chance that this piece may be sold by the time when this video is coming up. I would also evaluate this one at around 7,500 euro at current market value. And now we are getting to the very crib of the crop, as you say, I think. And that's these two pieces. I think we are looking just about the 5-digit area, so about $10,000 plus for what we are looking at for these pieces right now. This is one of the largest Laguna agates that has been found in about 10-year time period of mining the Alianza claim, which is a specific area of the Laguna area. This has been mined by Gene Miller, and it was in 2014. I purchased this a long time ago, as you can tell, and it is an absolute stunning piece. Let me guess how big it is. Probably a good 11 inches. Pretty heavy, and it is one of the largest high-quality agates that had been found up to that date. I'm sure there has been bigger ones coming out by now, but the quality of this piece is absolutely incredible. And so is the rarity of the color. The green, extremely intense in this specimen. So is the white and pink, the red, with these eyes here at the bottom, almost banded through the core, just a little bit of a quartz center. It's got a little bit of a healed fracturing right here, and that's maybe why we are looking at, I'm saying maybe only about $10,000, but I mean, who knows where the market is going with these. This is certainly one of the biggest ones in this kind of good quality that has ever been found, and I have seen them offered for a lot more than 10,000 directly by the mining company. And yeah, it's just hard to put any prices on this kind of specimens just because there's nothing out there that kind of would compare. All of these are so unique that there's just no way to compare a lot of these pieces and to tell what they're worth. So these are just like some estimates of how I would see them in current market situation. It was very different a couple of years ago. I mean, I paid way less than this about 10 years ago, but with the adjustments of the market, how rare things have been getting, it just changed a lot. And this is, in my opinion, one of the best Laguna agates I have ever owned. I just absolutely love this piece. It is so big and beautiful. The contrast and parallax is so immensely strong. And also this piece you can see in my private collection video that I posted on my channel about a year ago. It is linked up in the video, and yeah, that's it for today. I hope you got some ideas about agates of Laguna, values of Laguna agates. I mean, there's always room for discussions. I just wanted to give you the chance to get a little bit of a broader picture of what is even out there, because especially like the top section, the pieces I currently have in my collection, that is the kind of quality you typically don't even get offered on the market. Those are the pieces that will change owners usually a little more in private settings and not in public sales. So it's also a little more difficult to capture the value of these kind of pieces if you're not able to see them on the market. I hope this gave you a good idea. I hope you appreciate the video. I'm sure it leaves some room for discussion, and I'm sure it also creates some frustration with some of the old time collectors, but that's just where the market is going and has been going. I really enjoy Laguna agates a lot, but also it makes it just incredibly hard for me to invest in new material just because the market has been going up by so much. It is very difficult to get any good quality rough stones at this point in time, and the same of course also for already high quality specimens. So I feel very blessed to have what I have, and yeah, I don't mind keeping these for a while. I really enjoy these agates, of course, but if you see anything that you can't live without, you can always shoot me an email and reach out, and we can see if you like them enough to make them change to your collection. Thank you so much for watching.